Miraidon EX is officially a top tier deck now. The variation with Path to the Peak first kind of got its mainstream exposure at the World Championships. Tricky Jim got 21st with this build, and more recently, the Miraidon EX Path to the Peak build got top 2 at the Pittsburg Regionals, and at Yokohama Champions League, it won the whole thing. Also, since the Obsidian Flames format, Miraidon has been one of the most popular decks in online play and one of the most successful as well. And I know we covered a variation of this deck not that long ago, but in light of recent events, the Miraidon deck becoming incredibly popular and the Miraidon League battle deck coming soon, I think it's worth taking another look at Miraidon with Path to the Peak. I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Miraidon EX. This is going to be the Tricky Jim build that Andrew Mahone played at the World Championships. I know Jesse Parker recently got second at Pittsburg Regionals. At the time of this recording, I haven't seen their deck list. I'm going to assume because they're in the same testing group, it's probably pretty similar to this. Regardless, the Tricky Jim build of this is still working incredibly well. So let's get into it. Miraidon EX basic Pokemon, 220 HP, incredible ability, tandem unit. Once during your turn, you can search your deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon, put them onto your bench, and then shuffle your deck. You could also combo this with one of those 2 Pokemon being another Miraidon, so then you can get another 2 basic Pokemon on top of that. So as long as you can get 1 Miraidon on the board, you can pretty much set up your entire bench. Its attack is pretty good as well. Photon Blaster, 220 damage for 2 lightning and a colorless, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. And now there's going to be ways of pivoting in this deck, Switch Cart, Escape Rope, but the limitation on that isn't really a problem, especially since Miraidon's not your main attacker. So yeah, let's go through the deck list. We've got 3 Miraidons in the deck, incredible for setting up, pretty solid attacker. Oftentimes in the early game, we're going to be using Raikou to attack. It's got the ability Fleet-Footed, lets you draw a card if Raikou is in the active, and Lightning Rondo. For only 1 lightning and 1 colorless energy, you can attack for 20 damage plus another 20 damage for each Pokemon on the bench, yours and your opponent's. So this will cap out at 220 damage, and it's a really solid amount of damage for only 2 lightning energy. Most decks in the format are running wide benches, so this is going to do good damage. And on top of that, this is on top of the on top of Raikou being only a 2 energy attacker, there are ways of accelerating energy on turn 1 going second with the electric generators. I guess you could accelerate going first as well, but turn 2 in particular, Raikou can come in and swing for up to 220 damage on the first turn, which is absolutely devastating. So we've got a couple of those. We've got Raichu as our mid to late game attacker. It has the move Dynamic Spark for 2 lightning energy. You can discard any amount of lightning energy from all of your Pokemon, and you do 60 damage for each energy you discard, which means that Raichu is a KO machine, being able to one-shot anything in the game. Now, this requires you to have a lot of energy on the board, but thankfully we have lots of energy acceleration thanks to a 2/2 line of Flaaffy with its Dynamotor ability, lets us accelerate energy from the discard pile onto our bench Pokemon. And we also have electric generators, 4 of them, which let you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach any up to 2 lightning energy you find from there onto your Pokemon. Yes, this card is a bit of a gamble. Sometimes you're going to get 2 energy, sometimes you're going to get 0 energy, but more often than not, you're going to get something. And with this type of deck, especially with the Flaaffies as a safety net, Electric Generator just helps push this deck even further into the stratosphere. We also have one Squawkabilly, and this has the Squawk and Seize ability, lets you discard your hand on the first turn only and draw up to 6 cards. This helps you get energy into the discard pile, but more importantly, if you have a crappy starting hand, Squawkabilly can just help you refresh your whole situation, which is great. And last but not least, we've got 1 copy of Zeraora. You're not really using this to attack, however, it does have free retreat, and we are using this as our pivot so that we can keep our attackers on the bench. We can use Electric Generator to charge them up, or Flaaffy to charge them up, then pivot out Zeraora and bring in the real attacker. For trainer cards, we've got 3 copies of Boss's Orders, and this helps us gust our opponent's bench Pokemon into the active. We've got 2 copies of Switch Cart and 2 copies of Escape Rope. We will need to pivot from Miraidon from time to time or switch different attackers, and this is good for that. We use Switch Cart because we're running mostly basic Pokemon, and we want to be able to heal off some incremental damage, in particular from Lost Box. And there's going to be scenarios at times where a Flaaffy might get stuck, and that kind of sucks. But more often than not, Switch Cart is the way to go. If you really don't feel comfortable about it, you can switch these with regular Switch if you'd like. We've got 2 copies of Judge. We have a bit of hand disruption in this deck. 2 Judge, 2 Iono. Both of them they play with your cards and your opponent's cards. Judge is shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4 cards. Iono is both players shuffle their hands into their decks, shuffle their hands, put it to the bottom of their deck, and draw equal to the number of prizes they have remaining, making this a devastating card to play in the late game. We've got 2 copies of Forest Seal Stone. Phenomenal card. This only works. You can attach it to a Pokemon V like your Raikou or Raichu, but you can then use this as your V-Star power, grab a card of your choice from the deck, which is, amazing. Simple enough. 1 copy of Nest Ball. Because Miraidon allows us to bench a whole bunch of stuff, we don't necessarily need that much Nest Ball support, so only 1 here. We've got the big thing with this deck is Path to the Peak, where you can shut off all abilities of Rule Box Pokemon, and there are so many Rule Box Pokemon in the meta right now. Your Gardevoir, Charizard, Genesect V, Arceus V-Star. The list goes on, and there are so many decks that get hurt really badly by Path to the Peak, and this take on Miraidon doesn't really, right? We're not playing the Regieleki build. We are technically shutting off Tandem Unit, but once you use Tandem Unit once, you're basically good for the rest of the game, and Fleet-Footed only draws a card. It's not that big of a deal if you can't draw another card from here and there. So Path to the Peak, great addition to this deck. We've got 2 copies of Bravery Charm. One of the big challenges with this deck is that the Pokemon in it, the main attackers, your Raikous, your Raichus, and your Miraidon, are pretty squishy. It's not hard for a lot of meta decks to one-shot those attackers, and Bravery Charm ups their HP by 50, oftentimes pushing it out of 1-hit KO range, giving you a much stronger fighting chance. We've also got 4 copies of Ultra Ball, which lets you discard 2 cards and grab the Pokemon of your choice. Also some synergy with your energy. You can discard energy and have Flaaffy reattach them, which is great. 4 copies of Professor's Research. Discard your hand, draw 7. Great dig. Great opportunity to dig deeper into your deck, get closer to those generators, discard energy, and so on. So we've got 4 copies of those, and 1 copy of Arven lets you search your deck for an item and a tool card. So you can grab yourself an Electric Generator and a Bravery Charm, or a Forest Seal Stone, and grab some other stuff like that. So really nice addition to the deck. Last but not least, this is a high energy deck. We've got 14 energy. It's not out of the realm of possibility to see 15 energy in Miraidon, but we run a ton of energy because we want the Electric Generators to hit as often, get as much energy as they can. So this is incredibly high for most competitive decks, but this is kind of a 14 to 15 is where you want to be for Miraidon. So yeah, again, general strategy, get at least one Miraidon on the board, set up all of your attackers. You probably want 1 Raikou, 2 Mareeps, and the Zeraora. You can bench the Raichu a little later in the game, in the early game. And yeah, Squawkabilly, only bench this if you have a crappy starting hand. Early game, you're going to be wanting to attack with Raikou and attaching a bunch of energy everywhere with Flaaffy. And then in the mid to late game, you may attack with Miraidon. And if you really need that big 1-hit KO power, Raichu is the way to go. Now, I wasn't able to get much in the way of match footage here. I'm recording this just before my wife and my baby wake up. So I only got time to play 1 match, but I think this 1 match perfectly encapsulates the strengths of this build. I also expect that a lot of you are familiar with this particular build at this point because of how popular it is. That being said, I know that a number of new players are watching this channel, and maybe they're seeing this deck for the first time. So at least you get a taste of what this deck can do. I'll put a link to the older video that I did. The build is a little different, but it's the same concept of Miraidon with the Flaaffies, with the Path to the Peak, if you are jonesing for more of that. And especially, this is particularly relevant if you are in the market for a League Battle deck and you're thinking about the Miraidon deck. The build of this is a little different. It's going to the Flaaffies are going to rotate in the next cycle, so you won't be able to use this particular build long term. But between now and the next rotation, which is probably spring 2024, this seems like it's going to be the way to play Miraidon. All right, let's go check out this match. Mulligan, let's go. And all right, we get the Zeraora start. I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, we got the Raikou or the Miraidon up against the Charmander. We could potentially get the turn 1 donk here. And that would be nice to see. Oh, they're going to hit their VIP pass. Yeah, if we go Raikou, Miraidon. Yeah, if we're going to get rid of a bunch of stuff here anyway, I think we can get rid of Switch Cart and Research. And let's see what they bench here. This looks with the Bibarel. Do they go like Pidgey Arceus? Charizard, of course, very popular deck, though it hasn't been the most successful in tournament play or in IRL tournaments or online tournaments. Holy cow, triple VIP pass. Are you serious? There's the Pidgeot. This is something we absolutely have to keep in mind, is we can get an easy 2 prizes on the Pidgeot at some point in the game. They're going to put the energy on the Charmander in the back. I respect that. I respect that. Okay, let's go Miraidon, and let's go start placing some stuff. So we'll go Miraidon, Raikou. And then with the second Miraidon, we are going to go, I guess we go double Flaaffy or double Mareep. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in putting a Raichu out at this point in the game. Let's go and attach energy to Raikou. Oh, I probably could have used the Ultra Ball here. No point in that right now. Let's go and... Okay, let's just hit Research. And we get the generator. Amazing. Let's go. Ah, we brick! Damn. Okay. Then we will wait. We will wait. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oof. Okay. No. I mean, the Iono's not the worst. Hopefully they don't get the pieces to set up a Charizard right now, and we get the Path to the Peak. That's fantastic. I'm going to guess they get Bibarel here. And our meal ticket is in our hand right now with the Path to the Peak. Hopefully they don't pull out Charizard here. Though the odds of them getting Charizard get higher. Yeah, Bibarel. Get higher with each passing moment. So let's keep that in mind. They are going to Magma Basin here too. That potentially helps us out. No rare candy combos, please. Huh, Klefki, interesting. Running a little bit of a control element here. Now, we do get double Flaaffy. I love that for us. Right? We are going to power up. Oh, we have no energy in the... Oh, okay. That's fine. We're actually going to get rid of both of these. We will get ourselves the second Flaaffy. And in the mid to late game, we can start popping off with Raichu. So let's go and attach. And let's attach this next energy to Miraidon. Start building up the board. And I could pop off and snipe one of the Charmander. That might actually not a bad idea. Yeah, let's go take out one of the Charmanders right now. So let's go fleet-footed. And we might actually lose 4 Seal Stone here if they pop off. So let's go and path up. And let's go boss up one of the Charmanders with the energy here. And I could... Yeah, no, we'll just Lightning Rondo. And let's just pray they don't have the pieces to set up here. Okay, Bravery Charm. That would have been nice a couple turns ago, but it is what it is. Okay, hopefully they don't have it here. Path and Pray. Miraidon could be good, like putting the Bravery Charm on, because in the, depending on how many prizes we've taken, there with the Bravery Charm, they can't one-shot the Miraidon until like later in the game. And if we can disrupt them enough early on, we can just snuff them out from being able to do anything. Okay, let's pray they get stuck right here. Yeah, and they're going to draw a card. And we actually we'll hold on to our hand. We don't have to judge right now. There's 0 energy in the... to charge up. That is a bit of a concern. That's a bit of a concern. Ooh, they hit the Jacques. Okay. Charmeleon and Charizard. Do they have a rare candy, though? If they do, we're in a little bit of trouble. Okay, here comes the Charmeleon. And if they don't, we can judge away the Charizard. And I don't hate that for us. Okay. All right, great. So, the way we are going to do this is let's go Bravery Charm up this Miraidon. We will attach the energy. And let's get rid of that Charizard. Slow them down even further. Ooh, yes. Generators. Let's go. We get 1 on the Miraidon. That's fantastic. And we can put ourselves in a position to... Ooh, do we grab the Raichu now? I'm going to pop off right now, preemptively. And I'm going to grab ourselves a Raichu in hand just in case. Just in case. And I could actually Ultra Ball here and put some more energy on the board. Right? And get ourselves set up for that next version. We'll grab a second one. And we will have 2 energy on deck. Let's go and load up. I think we can put 2. I think we can put 2 on the board. And then, yeah, if Raichu gets knocked out or Raikou gets knocked out, we can power up this Raichu then. 220. Because at this point, you know, we assume Charizard comes in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 6 energy on Raichu to knock out a Charizard. Okay, here comes the Radiant Charizard. Interesting. Path is really doing a number on their deck right now. Love for that from me. Love that from me. I would like a draw supporter, though. Oh, here we go. Charizard time, but they don't have... They don't get the energy acceleration here. Ooh, doesn't matter. They're going to get the second Charizard set up now. And now they get the acceleration. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now we're in a bit of trouble. Now we're in a bit of trouble. So I think there's a couple ways we could play this, right? We could go in with the Miraidon next. They're not going to be able to one-shot the... we lost the Raichus. They're not going to be able to one-shot the Miraidon with the Charm. Okay, there's the path to the peak. Another 4 Seal Stone. Yeah, if we just swing with the... And we save Raichu for the end, that's probably the best way to go about it. Because we could knock out a Charizard right now, but then we won't have the firepower at the end of the game to get another one out of play. I don't think. Yeah, if they're swinging for 240, and I could, like, this is the gamble, right? Okay. Let's go Attach. Path. Research. Okay, we get double charm. That's nice. I do have another generator here. And we have 2 energy. Now, do we hit the generator or we wait for... How much energy is in there too? Okay. Let's go and actually start putting energy on the Flaaffies. And this could prove to be a mistake, potentially. But... Okay, let's go and retreat. 270. We'll hit for 220. They're still not one-shotting us yet. And just at some point, at least Path to the Peak does shut down the Radiant Charizard. And we could get ourselves a Raichu late in order to blow up this whole thing. Now, they could have vacuums. They could have vacuums and just obliterate this Miraidon, at which point we're in trouble. Okay, let's see what they are going to... We're not going to see a Pumpkaboo here or anything like that. They might get a Pidgeot. Oh, we're going to get a third Charizard, which doesn't really help their cause at this juncture. Let's see how they approach this. Oh, they're going to go for the fresh Charizard, which is a interesting strat. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Boss would be really nice right now. Oh, we're going to get Iono. I was really hoping for... I think we might have to Raichu early here. Yeah, if we can Raichu right now and then potentially get a second Raichu before the end of the game, then that would be golden. Yeah, they're just loading up Charizards like crazy. Okay, yeah, I think we have to pivot here and go Raichu. Okay, so this isn't necessarily the worst. Let's go and we take our one Raichu. All right, and we go and attach energy to the Raichu. Oh, 1. And we set ourselves up for the massive KO, because then this one has to come in, and we can still... Well, I guess they could attack with the Radiant Charizard. Okay, let's go. We hit another energy, at which point, let's go and put that on the Zeraora. And let's go research. We grab ourselves an Escape Rope, which we don't really need, and we just retreat. We'll lose 1, go into the Raichu, we'll attach another energy, and we need to discard 6. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the Bravery Charm one. That should be 360 damage, and we are in a pretty good spot right now. We definitely have the sauce we need. Because, yeah, they can come in with Charizard, and Miraidon, either of the Miraidons can knock it out. We could potentially... Could we get... Yeah, we can boss KO the other Charizard. Like, they are... Radiant Charizard's not going to be able to change that. Ooh, the Roxanne's good, though. Roxanne's good. Down to 2 cards. Okay. Do they have a bump to path, and then they could attack with Radiant Charizard to mess things up here for us a little bit? Okay, Klefki doesn't do anything. It just fills the bench. Maybe we shouldn't have discarded the energy off of Raichu. They're going to rare candy up to Pidgeot. At least they get a free pivot. But, yeah, they have to bump Path right now in order to win this game. And, yeah, they might get it right here. They might. Path to the Peak really holding on for dear life here. If they go in with the Charizard, they lose. Like the Terra Charizard. Oh, they're going in with Manaphy. Okay, they are stalling for time. But now we have multiple boss targets here. Okay. And we are... how do we want to approach this? Because I could hard retreat. Okay, let's go in Iono here. And we'll play around with some options. We only get 2 cards out of this, which is unfortunate. But, let's go and retreat. We'll go retreat into Zeraora. And we'll go and attach some energy over to Raichu here. And we still have one-shot power on the board. Even if they take out the Raichu, we have another Raichu in hand. We can power that up with Flaaffy, pivot with Zeraora, and they're done. So this is still looking pretty good. Okay, they're just thinning their deck. They are down to the bottom 5 cards. Even if they knock out the fresh Miraidon with the most energy, we will be able to get enough energy on the board to knock out with Raichu. We've got them like pretty much in checkmate. The only thing they can really do is get the Radiant Charizard rolling. But they have not been able to find... Oh, are they going to bump up Flaaffy? That might be their best way about this. Stall for time. No, they're going to bring up the Miraidon. Okay. If they're going to knock out the Miraidon, they still lose. Okay. Sure. Yeah, at this point, we will go and load up some energy onto Miraidon. And actually on the Zeraora as well. We'll just spread out our stonks. There is no reason for us to Iono at this point. We just need to... Yeah, we'll just swing for Photon Blaster. They can bring in anything. We want to... If they knock out the Raichu, we want to hold on to the other Raichu. So let's just go and blast Photon Blaster. And I think we have them officially out of reach. Unless if we can get a boss, I guess that would guarantee that this is done. They can swing and knock out this Miraidon, which is fine. Or they're going to go... Are they just going to go... They can't attack with Radiant Charizard. They are very much toast at this point. Oh, the Iono. Okay. Yeah, this is done. This is done. They're going to swing for 330 damage. We still have enough firepower with the energy that's already here to knock out this Charizard. Like, we can one-shot it right now. And yeah, let's just do that. Dynamic Spark. We don't have to load up any more energy. And we will just take the win here. GG's. This was probably... like distilled the perfect match to showcase the power of this deck, being able to accelerate energy super quickly, being able to hit hard, being able to play Path to the Peak to slow our opponent's abilities down, to be able to get the Raichu at the very end, even knocking out that Miraidon at the end. At that point, the Flaaffies had put so much energy on the board, and we still had a ton of energy in the discard pile too. I didn't even have to load up anything to knock out a Charizard EX clean, and we could have done even more damage if we really wanted to. And that was pretty much the perfect example of this deck in action. GG's. And there we go. That is a look at Miraidon EX with Path to the Peak. Congratulations, Miraidon. When we first saw this card, we thought that it looked pretty good, but was it going to be enough? And at the time, people were playing it with the Regileckies, which is actually what's going to come in the League Battle deck, and it wasn't quite enough to get it over the hump. And over time, players have discovered this combo with the Flaaffies and the Path to the Peak is really what pushes the deck into that echelon of top tier. It is a ton of fun to play. Do I have my Miraidon deck here? Actually, yeah, I do. Just before, like literally days before they announced the League Battle deck, I started building a Miraidon deck myself, and I'm a little hurt by the Pokemon Company. I assumed that they weren't going to use Miraidon as the next League Battle deck, so I went and bought these, but I'm okay with that. I have pretty much this build. I've been working on this exact build of Miraidon with Path to the Peak, and I look forward to playing it, and maybe it's the deck I play at Toronto Regionals later this year. But for now, I gotta get going. Thank you so much for watching. Some quick plugs before we get out of here. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at InThirdPerson. You can find me on Twitch at InThirdPerson, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.